All right, I need to start with my millennial pause. It's recording. But hey, we decided we're going to do a podcast for women of real Jiu Jitsu. We've been here for a while, and I think it's nice that we get some more representation. I myself have been interested in Jiu Jitsu for, well, I think I've been practicing since 2017, whatever my game is. But my name's Katie. I'm about, oh, no, I am 40. And I consider myself a well-versed hobbyist now that I'm getting some more confidence after years of survival. But I thought it would be nice to include some more perspective from women. I really love our podcast, but I don't get to see enough of us on the mat. And in the last decade that I've been really involved with martial arts, it's grown. Like women in the sport have grown, but I still think there's more to it. And I would like to have more discussions about it. So I brought in my partners. You want to introduce yourself, Christy?
Sure. Hi, my name is Christy. I've been training for 6.5 years. Ironically, my youngest son said, "Mom, let's go do jujitsu." I had no idea what he was talking about. And he's like, "I know you overpacked." He's in the military, so I always go visit. He's like, "I know you overpacked. Grab something like you're going to yoga." I walked into a 10th Planet open mat out in Las Vegas, and I was like, this is amazing. And I never turned back, and it's just become an obsession of mine. It's been awesome being here and being a part of it, and I want to see us be able to reach out to women and just communicate and just kind of open up this floor for women to, get in touch with us and reach out.
Be more involved in the sport aspect of it as well. And that's, I think, what you bring to the table.
Yeah. Hello. My name is Taylor. I am a purple belt currently. Just recently got my purple belt back in January, I think it was.
Oh, I forgot to say that. Did you? I'm a purple belt as well.
Yeah, I've been training for 4 years now. My sister actually dragged me to a class not knowing anything about jiu-jitsu. That was fun, interesting. And first lesson was jiu-jitsu is weird. You're going to get real close with people, especially when you don't come from a wrestling background at all, where you're not used to being on the mats. It's definitely weird. But I think we all kind of probably experienced some type of awkwardness when we rolled.
Yeah.
Oh,
our
yeah,
first
for
times.
sure.
And I'm hoping that this podcast will be able to tell stories about the awkward, maybe address some questions, talk about interactions with some of the men in the sport too. Obviously, that's been a hot button issue for years and things like that. But I came from not wanting a separate program for women's jiu-jitsu. My opinion has been very drastically changed over the course of the years. But I was like, you know what? I did it. I don't understand why we need a women's only, if we're all supposed to make it a level playing field and we're supposed to be able to hold our own on the mats. Maybe it was more like I did it. I was like the only adult female in the class for a couple of years until another woman and her children showed up, which floored me. I was like, oh, she's a mom and she does this? Awesome. And now that that has happened and we've gotten over that hump, I'm amazed to see so many mothers on the mats. And I also think there is a place for a women's only class, which you run here at Real Movement and Martial Arts. And that just makes me and Christy really happy to see you lead a class. I think there was a time, I think probably 2 years ago, or maybe a little bit less, but I had walked into an advanced class after work and you were teaching. You were teaching the room, a mixed room of our team members, our men, and the sprinkling of women that are on the mats. But the fact that you are breaking down the technique, commanding the class to go into a certain format for this, I was like, oh, finally, okay. And I was like, this girl knows what she's doing here, and you have grown as a teacher, and then also to branch over and make it less weird. I think that's maybe what the women's jiu-jitsu program is doing, and hopefully get them more on the mats.
Yeah, and definitely get women more comfortable on the mats just with another person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely easier to be with another woman than it is with a guy.
Yeah.
Even though I mean, I'm sure we all roll with men.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think of anything weird now rolling with
Right.
them. There's no like weird stigma, nothing like you're not thinking, oh no, like he's grabbing or he's close to my butt. Like nothing like
Yeah.
that. We don't
Right.
we don't think like that when we're in the middle of a match.
No.
It's just, all right, how can I get to this guy's back and choke him?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
There's nothing like that in your mind when you're in the middle of a fight. But I can see when you're brand new to the sport, brand new to rolling, and you are a woman, you don't want to be like, I don't want this guy grabbing, or you definitely have that mindset in the beginning until there's no more women to roll with, and then you got to roll with the guy.
Yeah.
Like, and then you got to get over that hump. I mean, that's really what it is. At least
Yeah.
that's how it was for me. I used to start rolling with Dakota, my sister, every class. I didn't want to go to class without her, and then eventually my schedule changed, so I was like, I still want to go practice.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, there's not a lot of women out there who train. But that has definitely grown since I started, and I'm sure
Yeah.
you guys definitely have way more
Oh, for
experience than I do. But yeah, I mean, being the only girl on the mat in the beginning, is definitely a different type of feeling. You want to be able to be comfortable with everybody, but definitely rolling with a woman is different type of strength
Yeah.
than it is with a guy.
I
Mhm.
agree.
And I don't think I really felt that until my first competition.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There is that like little hiccup I find in rolls where like there is a brief pause because we roll with men that know how to treat us respectfully.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
We're very, very lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are places that you come from and there is not that respect, but there is with anybody that steps on the RMMA mats, and I appreciate that very much to make
Mhm.
it a safe environment. But there is that like momentary like he knows he's not going to use his full strength and
Mhm.
crank this Kimura on me. And somehow in the back of my mind, sometimes I know that. So I'm like, all right, I escape because, but also, it's different. I came in without having a lot of experience with rolling with women. And I honestly thought, I'm like, I'm going to break someone.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I've never wrestled with another girl because it had come up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Size differences make a huge thing, and I think that's another thing we'll definitely discuss when it comes to finding competition for
Yeah.
women, which is
Yeah,
a big
that's-
issue.
That's
But yeah, I went, oh. I was like, I wonder if this is what it's like to have a sister. I'm like, holy crap. And then
Yeah.
watching you and Dakota roll sometimes, I was like,
fun.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She just throw her.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you
That's
have
the
a
best.
sister growing up, the
Mhm.
worst comes out of you.
That's awesome.
And then you'll be friends in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great.
That
I
that
love
was
watching
good.
that.
And I was like, okay, so
Mhm.
girls really do this. And then, being me a mixed martial arts fan, like it took me a while to get onto Invicta, and I didn't know how many years it had been around because I was like, oh, women in MMA, because old school UFC didn't include women until Ronda came through and everything, and I was like, okay. And so now I understand the importance of having the representation and seeing it and then living it, and it's just kind of a new mindset for me to take
Yeah.
over and see the importance of it. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I think the women's program, I think the value that brings is, you don't know what background they're walking in with.
Yep.
And a lot of times there can be some trauma there. And I think if
Mhm.
they have the opportunity to step onto the mats with a women's only class, they can get comfortable with being uncomfortable and then eventually build that confidence up. And like my goal for the women on the mat in our program would be to then transition, and also train with the men
Yeah.
and just get more
Mhm.
comfortable with that. I think that it's just a huge piece to build that confidence of being able to take care of yourself when you're training with men as well.
Yeah. And you don't, like you said, you don't know where everyone came from. You don't know their past trauma. You don't know anything. And as an instructor, I definitely want to make sure I'm making it comfortable for everybody and letting them know that it's okay to not feel okay right now.
Mm-hmm.
And let me know, let your partner know. I don't want to say we've all been in a situation, but we've all been in a situation where we haven't been comfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
And we might not know exactly why the person's triggered, but it doesn't matter why. It just matters that they are. And here's what we can do about it. And here's how we can get past that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is going at it again, doing it again with someone you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. Or even just like if they need to like ease into it, where maybe they watch it first and then they kind of slowly get into it. But I think that's the thing I like about the women's program, is giving them that opportunity. But I don't want that to be the end all be all for them. I don't want them to be like, well, I'm only going to train with women. No, I want that to be like a starting point, and then get onto the mats with men, and then have that be more of like, hey, this is just an opportunity every week to get together with women and train with women.
Yeah.
I think because Gracie combatives are very popular for their women's self-defense like program. And I know that we'll probably touch on some of that research a little bit more, because I appreciate that program, but sometimes there's a misconception that, jiu-jitsu is the only thing a woman needs to do for self-defense. Self-defense, yes, is different from the sport jiu-jitsu that we're practicing sometimes. So unless you're physically, this is my opinion, of course, physically training these self-defense moves all like often, like a simple self-defense seminar, or only practicing like a sport jiu-jitsu probably dilutes like the true self-defense sometimes. But I can tell you that training jiu-jitsu, I have more confidence in myself and my physical abilities, because I understand my movements and my bodies and like my limitations and what I can overcome. Being that, like said, I think that's one of the things we like we'll probably touch on too, because it is important. Self-defense is part of it. It is scary. But most of us, the three of us, definitely like, we practice the sport jiu-jitsu. We like to compete. Some of us more than others, but it does cross over into daily life, like your position as a assistant principal. Sometimes you do have to maneuver and hold students and things like that, and keep yourself safe while keeping a rowdy student, at bay. And I'm sure that's helped. Right?
Well, we have like a program that we have to use because ideally you don't put hands on kids, but we go through a process called CPI training. But so I follow the, instructions that we're given with that. But the mental part, I think, is what really jiu-jitsu helps me with, because mentally, like, obviously, we don't use jiu-jitsu on children in the workplace.
I'm talking about class. Let's not get crazy.
At work, it's very rare, but there's a certain process, a CPI program that we have to use. But I think the jiu-jitsu that I bring to my job is the mental part of just managing the emotions, and managing my emotions so that I can stay calm under pressure. And that way, like, the students see me calm, and that helps bring them a calmness. And I've had different situations that I've been in the last 3 years as admin where, I'm dealing with like a crisis with staff or students, and then other staff members are like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." Like, because jiu-jitsu has helped with that, I think.
So because it's put you in like high stress situations, you mean?
Yes.
And then you're able to calm yourself in that situation.
Yes, I'm able to remain calm because I'm like, well, this is just like training.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we tease you because every day is absolutes for you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's
For those of you just listening, Christy is, how tall are you? Like 5 foot?
feet.
Yeah. 5 foot, 100 pounds, baby soaking wet. Like, tiny.
And she, and we just had open mat earlier, and she's always picking on the biggest guys in the room. Hey, you want to roll?
Yeah.
Hey, can I put you in the crucifix?
Yeah. She's definitely our
honey
feisty
badger,
fighter. Yeah.
Honey badger mode.
Honey badger.
Yes.
I love it so much.
Yeah, I think we had that one. We'll name drop later, but who was like, do I owe you money? As he's like torn across the mat. And I'm like, don't worry, she rolls like that with everyone.
It's so fun. I love it.
But maybe that's the importance of like the aspect of jiu-jitsu and self-defense too, because if you are ever put in that flight or fight response, we learned how to breathe through it and weather a storm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I think the one thing that I like about it is like God forbid, like that situation happen, but knowing that I have some skills to do my best to protect myself, I think that will go a long way. Like emotionally, if you're recovering from something, like I had the tools and I did the best that I could, as opposed to someone that doesn't train, that you don't have the tools and you don't know how to survive. I think that's really important for women. I just think every woman should train.
There's scrappy women out there too that'll say, well, I'll just see red. And if I get in that situation, I can handle myself. Do you?
Until you fall and hit your head on the ground because you can't, you don't know how to break fall. Which, I mean, that's why I think you wanted to start this podcast, is to expand the knowledge of really what jiu-jitsu is to women for sure, but hopefully everybody who hears it. I'll say, like, in my personal job, or professional job, do not do this full time as much as I would like to. But
we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Whenever I'm teaching a class for work, I'm always like, my fun fact is I do jiu-jitsu, and I think y'all should do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, same.
Have you ever seen her accost like a woman? Hey, do you want to do jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
One of our friends, Jessica, got pulled over by a police officer one day for speeding, and it was a female police officer. And as she's getting a ticket written for her, sorry, Jessica, I'm throwing you under the bus.
No.
She goes, "Hey, do you train jiu-jitsu? I think you should. You should come to our gym." She still got the ticket.
Oh,
she darn.
She did.
Man.
But I love
Bummer.
the tenacity where she's just like, oh, she's a woman in law enforcement. She should be training jiu-jitsu. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like
for sure.
any woman. And that's what the podcast, like the real women of, women of real jiu-jitsu. Because yes, we're here at Real Martial, Real Movement, martial arts. I love it. And I was like, oh, there's more of us out here to do this jiu-jitsu thing. And, just in the class alone, I love that one Saturday we were in, and was it Griselda had her little one, and we
Everybody
passed the
hold
baby
the
around so
baby.
she could drill too.
Yeah.
We want to include everything because
That is awesome that moms can come in and hopefully we're going to rework our schedule so we have the kids class going at the same time as our women's class. To be determined to be in the works.
We have so many good things that are going to be happening.
Yeah, for sure.
But like that day was so funny because she was you could see it in her eyes, like she felt bad that her son wasn't cooperating, which kids don't.
Right.
And it's nobody's fault. But like, how awesome is it that all the women on the mat and all the moms on the mat have been in a situation like that and they're like, no, I'll just take him.
Yeah, we'll take turns.
You roll, you do your drill, I'll take him, and then we'll switch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like that's just such a great.
It's a good community.
Yeah.
It's a good sisterhood, especially coming from like, depending on the backgrounds. Like, I didn't have like the best women role models like growing up. So it was hard for me too. I was one of those girls. Oh, girls are so much drama. All my friends are guys, kind of like that. But it wasn't until like a few years into jiu-jitsu and meeting other women that were actually interested in jiu-jitsu that I go, oh, we do this and we help each other. And this is nice. I mean, yes, we just, she just choked me out, but she doesn't hate me. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was such a weird feeling. But it goes to show like, hey, this is really for everybody.
Yeah.
But it takes a special person to continue to, do jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah.
Especially with all of the awkward and the ick.
Yeah.
So that's another thing.
Are we talking about the icks now?
Oh yeah.
No.
I think that's another thing we should bring up just to chat about like the biggest icks. And I, as a particularly sweaty woman, have had the sweat like drip off of me into my partner. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I've had it like drip into my mouth.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
no.
That is
I won't call
probably,
him out.
to try and explain to somebody who doesn't do that this is okay, that this is just normal. After a while, you just stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's always there.
You cannot think about it.
Yeah.
No, you really can't.
You can't.
That's
Because the second you start thinking about it,
It's really
you
gross.
want to get off the mat and shower.
Yeah.
And
It's
there's
true.
just that time where you're just like, my rash guard's touching me and then I gotta go.
Yeah. Or you
Not to turn any women off of training.
Yeah,
No.
please come.
It's a part of it. It really just, you get over it.
You
It's
do.
almost like rewarding. Like Like when you have such a good sweat and such a, like, you feel like you left it all on the mat.
Yes,
You had a
absolutely.
good workout. You had a good roll, good rounds.
Can wring your clothes out.
Yeah.
Wring your
Really
clothes out.
disgusting.
And then you
Yeah.
hop in the showers.
Yes.
And then you smell great again
Yes.
because your, body soaps and lotions smell beautiful.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Those boys smell like tea tree oil, and those are only the ones that use the soap.
Well, hopefully all of them are using the soap.
Hey, I told you I've been training for a while, and I have smelled some things and seen some things.
PSA, everyone, wash everything. Wash your rash guards,
Yes.
wash your shorts, wash your spats, wash your gis, wash your belts.
Yeah, for
It's a
sure.
thing. Oh, and I think I learned from the Jiu Jitsu Mom podcast from Cindy and Linda that the downy beads, they do wonders on
Oh,
your.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
wow.
use those. Mhm.
I
It
was
smells so good.
I was I was like, nothing can get this smell out of here. I'd done the vinegar, the baking soda, nope, those downy beads, they do
Yeah.
wonders.
Mhm. I know. I'll do like a cap full, and then if it's a little more, I'll do like another half.
Yeah.
Let's just go extra here.
Yeah.
And that's so nice,
Mhm.
actually. Not weird at all, because, you'll be rolling with somebody, and that's the other thing. Hey, you smell really good.
Oh, yeah.
For like
Yeah.
a minute.
Yeah, that's not weird, right?
It's actually really funny that you brought that up because you don't realize, like, you don't go up to people and like smell them like, on a day to day. But when you're this close to somebody, like face to face, and you like get a little whiff, you're like, oh, what shampoo are you using? Your hair smells good.
Yeah, I was like,
I know.
I think I did that to somebody like pretty recently. I'm like, oh, what shampoo was that? That smells really good. They're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay.
I always have like
Don't
this-
make it weird now.
Yeah. I always have like the scented lotion. So I always get like, you smell like a cookie. I'm like, only for 5 minutes.
yeah. Then it's on the mats, in the puddles. Oh.
Yeah,
So
all the puddles.
your first roll was at an open mat? Your first time with jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
How did that go?
Well, it wasn't like an actual role because I
Okay.
walked in. It was in Las Vegas at a 10th Planet, and I walked in and all I saw was sweat and a bunch of people, and I'm like, I don't know about the sweat, Jake, but this looks really, really cool. And since obviously I hadn't trained before, she was probably like 16. She kind of took me to the side. And
Oh, yeah.
she was just showing me like different positions and kind
Okay.
of like holding and trying to have me kind of work out of them. So that was like my first exposure.
Oh, that's
But
good.
I remember getting on the plane, coming home with like a jujitsu hoodie from his gym, Gracie Humaida, shout out to Rhonda. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm cool. I did an hour of jujitsu.
Yeah.
Like,
That's awesome.
But
yeah,
hooked for life. That's
for sure. And I did, my
Yeah.
oldest son trained for a little while, for about a year. So that was really fun. Wasn't quite his thing, and I respect that, but he gave it a good fair shake. But Jake, my youngest, still trains. So every like 3-4 months, we get to kind of size each other up with like progress. And so that's always fun. And he's tough. He's a tough roll. He's purple belt.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's cool that you guys have that together.
I love that.
Mhm.
It's so fun.
Well,
Yeah.
that was Anna and her children.
Yeah.
She was the first like woman that was actually like interested in jujitsu that like crossed my path and was like, "You're fine, you can do this." I'm like, "Okay,"
Yeah.
because I really for like almost a year and a half, one fundamental class a week, and then I would not touch it because that's the funny thing. I don't like when strangers touch me.
Let's try jujitsu.
Yeah, right? It's just
Well,
perfect,
I
Katie.
know.
It's just
I
perfect.
hate being touched.
I know. Well, I was in like I loved MMA and I wanted to do something, so I started, like most women do, with striking. A lot of women will start and love striking because I can keep somebody at a distance and I feel
Yeah.
super tough. But I think Joey was the one who was like, "Well, if you really are into, mixed martial arts, maybe you should mix it up a little bit. And if you want to," he was teaching a yoga for BJJ class after some of my kickboxing sort of lessons, and he's like, "You should probably do BJJ for this yoga class."
Oh.
They finally
Oh.
talked me into it,
Nice.
and it took a while to warm up, but I was like, once I transitioned and somebody told me, "Hey, try no gi." Oops. And then they're like, "You're kind of a monster." I'm like, "Yes." And that was my sort of thing. Not that I don't like training in the gi, but now that I've kind of transitioned, like no gi built my confidence is what ended up happening because I was getting just mauled and my ass constantly handed back to me. And I didn't feel like anything like was remotely good happening with the gi. I built my confidence with no-gi to kind of figure out, oh, well, I'm slippery. I can slide out a little bit here and get I would have gotten caught. So yes, I got some cheap, like little sneaky escapes, but it made me a little more confident. So when I went and I go back and forth to the gi, I was like, okay, I get this now. I can do anything you can do in no-gi, you can do in the gi. Not the other way around. But although people try, we're like, spider guard doesn't work.
Oh, I know, right?
No.
I do love spider guard. I'm a fan of that. With
It's
the gi.
super fun.
It is so fun.
So I did that, and then being the way that life like moved me over to RMMA full time. Like, I'm not in the gi as much, but I do like to give it a go once in a while.
Yeah.
But you have to do what you like sometimes, and that's for me. I'll still try, but no-gi built my confidence, and I feel really sneaky sometimes and super powerful when I get out of like little things just because of a good slippery slip. And that's where the sweat kind of works in your favor.
Sometimes it saves you.
Yeah. Like, oh, the friction of the lapel would have got me in that one, but you don't have it, so bye.
Yeah.
So were you always a mixed martial arts fan then, like growing up? Like how did you get involved in that?
Man,
or UFC fan, I should say.
So honestly, I didn't I heard about MMA being, just like human cockfighting. It's so violent, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Don't watch that. Yes. My mother would be, why are you even but what it actually was The Ultimate Fighter reality show.
Oh,
okay.
It was during the reality TV was in its heyday, and I wasn't a Kardashian. I wasn't a fan of I did watch a little Fear Factor. So I think, and then Joe Rogan has the crossover, and I was like, okay. And then I found this dumb show with these dumb boys that reminded me of my buddies in high school. And so I started watching and like the first season, like with Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner, like they were still running challenges where they had to carry like water bottles up, 6 flights of stairs, and they weren't actually fighting. And then it transitioned over into oh, well, they should actually be training. They should actually be fighting. And I just got addicted to that. And then watching the live events was so much fun because it was something that was just outside. I come from a zero athletic background. So I was like, this is just exciting and fun and something that is just not like who I was at the time. Mm-hmm. Even though if you talk to certain people here, some days they say, you're very violent.
Violent when you need to be violent.
Yeah, right.
If necessary. It's better to be, what is it? It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Oh, okay.
You've heard that? It's not original, but I like that theory.
I actually haven't heard that.
Me either.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
That's
Super
awesome.
Fun. Yeah.
I hear you're transitioning into some yoga for your jiu-jitsu as well. How's that going?
Yes. I did not go to yoga this morning. I slept in today.
Well, we were all at the fights pretty late, so there's that excuse, right?
Yeah, we'll blame that.
I feel like, to be honest, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I feel like I roll better after going to yoga, even though you think you're ready to go home and take a nap. Like you're actually really warmed up and you can just get right at it.
Yeah.
I think,
what do you think?
The first class, my first yoga class, so okay, obviously I've taken yoga classes before, but my first yoga class since Joey kind of took over here, and then open mat after, I was like, it's hard to change my mindset from being relaxed and ready to go to bed or ready to start my day, my nice Sunday reset, to okay, now I gotta go fight someone. That was a hard mindset, but it's almost good.
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of what you were saying when you with your stressors, how you can remain calm in the situation. You can turn on and off those your mind and the distractions and everything you with your yoga, with that practice, and then using that, whether you're just rolling on a random Tuesday or whether you're in a competition, how you can remain calm and find your mindfulness before you fight somebody. I think that's really beneficial, and that's just the whole mind part of it. But then the physical aspect of it, I'm pretty flexible. I cheered my whole life. Not that I was like really any great, but I did. And
It counts. That's an athleticism that not everybody can pull off.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I cheered, but no, you're an acrobat. And that's also why you have a great coaching voice too.
I was
yeah.
literally
Oh,
just
yeah.
going to say that. She does. She's got, you can hear her.
oh yeah,
grips.
Yeah.
Clear the grips.
Last night.
I know. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Just kidding.
It's awesome. It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so
that's
funny.
funny. Kyle told me once that my voice out of everyone's voice is the one that you can hear. It just like pierces through the crowd. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'll take it.
I feel like it's a good
Kyle
thing,
doesn't
right?
like to be yelled at by ladies.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Kyle.
go. Maybe
Kyle.
that's it. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But I do think that's good. Like, I think
Mhm.
you're very encouraging, and I think that,
Thank you.
helps. And you know what you're talking about, right? So you're
Yeah.
giving them great feedback, and
Yeah.
they can hear it. So
Because
Yeah.
I think it's valuable.
I mean, she's a purple belt in 4 years, but she has put so much time and effort on the mats that like people go, oh, in 4 years? No, it's legitimate.
Oh, yeah.
There is no way she did not earn that because of the fact how much study she has put in and time to go over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot, and that's just the beginning. So it's really fun to see like the progress and the obsession. Yes.
Yeah.
You're like, I would do this all the time if it would pay my bills. Does it? No.
No.
Not yet.
Does she still try to do it all the time? It's paying her bills? Yes.
Maybe our
Absolutely.
podcast will get sponsored by some people.
There you go.
We can start getting our bills paid.
There you go.
Ideally, we'll work on it.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
see what we
think
can do.
so, yeah.
That's funny.
But I'd like to encourage more women to even if they don't want to train, at least listen about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
would be something. I love the women that come over to the yoga classes that you always try.
Oh,
Hey, you want to come down over here?
Listen, I try to rope in anyone I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. And
But
you've gotten quite a few people.
Oh, good.
But
Those
it
goes
doesn't
on.
always look when
yeah.
you peek in the
yeah.
room.
I did.
Yeah.
When you peek in the room, it looks a little scary, but
Yeah.
I'm scared to do the yoga. And these women are bending themselves, binding themselves,
Yeah.
putting this leg up over here. And I'm going, this is really, really hard. I'm like, if they can do that, then I was like, they can get on the mats.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
how
for
I
sure.
reverse the mindset for me. I'm like, I get on the mats and I do, I wrestle with scary people.
Yeah.
I could probably do some yoga. It's really hard, but I'm going to keep trying.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a benefit for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that mindset too is like really like I pull that like in my everyday, like doing a presentation or I went golfing like last weekend, like with random people. And I'm like, I'm going to like hit a drive in front of these people. And like, what if it's a bad shot? And I'm like, wait, I have gotten the most embarrassing things happen to me
Yeah.
in a fight. And like,
in front of crowds.
it's
Oh, yeah.
fine. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. Like, I'd rather do that a million times than like be scared about like making a presentation.
Absolutely.
And I think that gives me the confidence to proceed with all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go to a yoga class that I'm intimidated in yoga. I see Stefania and she is
she can fold herself in half.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Like, what is going on there?
She is phenomenal at yoga. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I probably look like such a crazy person right now. I'm like shaking and sweating and like
Fall out of three-legged dog. I'm like, what is happening?
I'm like, which one is my right arm?
Oh, I know. That's me.
Like,
I'm like looking at Joey and I'm like, don't judge me. Don't judge your teaching by whatever I'm doing here.
No, I appreciate the fact he goes, it doesn't have to look pretty.
I know. I love
Yeah.
that. Thank
Yeah.
you, Joey. Thank you for that.
yeah, but I think like being able to put ourselves in vulnerable situations through jujitsu
Mm-hmm.
makes us more confident to do and try other
Yeah.
other sports, other activities, other
And I think
presentations,
that's
all that
what
stuff.
I'd love for other women to pick up and take away from it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah, if women can just get one class, just one class is all we ask.
Yeah, just come once and I will get you addicted.
yeah, yeah. I don't know what's so addicting about it though. Like, is it the fact that we can never be
Never be
perfect?
done.
Yeah, like
it
never be
ends.
done. Yeah, is that what it
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
Are we all just like going insane?
We're all nuts. Yeah.
Possibly.
I mean,
I'm sure that men in their practice will feel that way too. The
Mhm.
ego is a crazy thing, isn't it?
Well, it is.
How it
Yeah.
affects and works differently for different people.
yeah. Well, I think that's I mean, I love the part of jujitsu where you're going to get beat up and then you're going to be like, God, this sucks. And why am I training? And then the next day you come back and you're like, I just choked a big old dude out and it feels so good. And it's just like the highs and lows. And like, I think just keeping that grit and being like, I'm not going to quit. Like, I think that mindset is what's addicting, is like addicted to just continuously. Thank you for helping me out. Just trying to get better and trying to learn more and just trying to be better than like I was yesterday or I was a year ago, you know? So I think that's the part that's addicting for me. Also like the community that brings, I mean, it's a family, you know what I mean? Like it's so, I've actually traveled a lot, and when I travel, I go to gyms. So I've trained in like Mexico, Florida, Vegas, New York, all over the place. Jake being in the military helps with those travel opportunities. And, you know, no matter where he's at, like his gym home is, you can go anywhere and you're going to be just welcomed and just have an awesome experience and meet just amazing people everywhere. It's just just such a neat idea and community.
Yeah. I haven't really cross-trained much, I will say.
It's so fun.
Yeah, I think you're still, like, the gym is new. You're still building a program, and you're trying to find your own game. So you'll get there. We're going to, my other hope, too, is to, you know, talk to, obviously, the great women we have here already, but there is a jiu-jitsu community in our area with women that want to do women only, maybe a rotating women's only mat, things like that. We'd like to reach out and build. And then maybe, you know, while you're busy doing competitions, Christy stepping in for teaching some classes. One of us will go do a little interview at, you know, at a different location with a different woman, or, you know, invite them over here too. So there'll be opportunity for sure. But I know you have some goals that you want to reach of your own too. So, I mean, are you eyeballing any competitions in the near future at this point? Or
well, I wanted to do Fuji last night, yesterday. But I was pretty sick, kind of like 2 weeks ago. So I had a week off, and for someone who trains every day, having that week off is brutal. It just got in my head, and I didn't feel like I was going to be ready for that tournament. So I didn't compete, but I definitely, especially after seeing those fights last night, I'm like, fun. I just want to, like, for my goals and for what I'm doing right now, like, I need to compete more. And hopefully in June, we can find a weekend, or I know there's something like every weekend somewhere.
There's a lot.
You'll find it.
Just doing it. But yeah, definitely want to compete more. Maybe do more like shows, like the Fight to Win and stuff like that. That's good opportunity for everybody who wants to become a little bit more in the professional eyes of jiu-jitsu. So
well, that's the other thing too, with competing as a woman, it is hard to find matchups sometimes.
You and I definitely struggle with that.
Well, at this point, just because age wise,
I know we're like all different decades.
It's kind of fun.
No, not yet. I'm still with you.
Okay, you're but hey, it's just a number. But like, there was a big changeover. I think last year for grappling industries, because women were complaining about not having enough weight class divisions, not having enough age ranges. They changed a bunch of policies, and then girls did not show up again. It's hard. I think there, like, that's the thing that's probably in the next like 5 years going to really kind of go through a development phase too, to get more of the competition ready women, because they're out there. We've seen them. I've seen them like coming up, but it's just like, okay, get to the mats. I think the competition that I did, and I don't compete very often, like I think 3 and 5 years, because I don't have a competitor spirit, is what I find, because I'm just like, oh, she must want it way more than me. Like, oh, but
which is fine. You don't have to compete.
No, but it is a different mindset, and to know myself is kind of nice. But the woman I competed against, and it was just us in the division because we were the only ones in the same size and same age bracket. She said, you know, she's like, I was thinking about going down to the adults division, and I went. She's like, but I didn't want you to like see me disappear and then get discouraged. And I went, really? She's like, and honestly, she's like, I'm back after some hospital things and some personal health stuff. And she's like, I feel like this is a good matchup. And I went, thank you so much. Like, that's the kind of community. Never met this woman, but she's like, I'm going to just stay in this division. She's like, I'm going to see what I can test against this person. But if she would have dropped out down to adults, then I would have been like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to try this again. It was really, it's not that I don't think I could, because I think my ADCC, I got mushed in with the adults again, which is fine. But I was just like, oh man, it did get in my head a little bit. I'm like, I don't know. Some of these girls are like 10 years younger than me, and they really want this. And I'm like, I just want to give it a try. But I had so much fun. Is it in my future? Maybe. Like, that's the unwritten part. That's really fun. So I think we'll figure it out too. Cause, you have not competed or had a desire to?
No, I would like to, but
okay.
Just my age and weight is a little bit tricky. I did compete once as a white belt real early on, and looking back on that was very entertaining because
yes,
I mean,
we should get some pictures.
I have video. I'll share it maybe sometime. You guys can all die with me. It was great. I mean, I was like 20 pounds smaller than the person, and she kind of like tossed me across the mat, and I'm like, oh, no, you didn't. And I came back, I was like determined, but got arm barred. And then the next match, I didn't know. I think I had been rolling for like 3 months. So it was like, I didn't know what I was doing.
Which is why she signed up for a competition.
But the next round, I literally like gassed out. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So, I mean, it was an awesome experience. I did reach out on Facebook looking for women my age and size, and I did find some in the brown and black belt. So, like, when I get there, I found some people.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. So
that would be exciting.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm 49. So, like, is it fair? I mean, even though I will grapple with anybody on the mat. But, like, competition.
Pick the biggest one on the mats and just be like, hey.
They're so fun, though.
I know. It is fun because, when we're doing some classes and they're like, hey, find somebody your size. Sure.
Listen.
It does give you a different feel for sure.
Yeah. I had the opportunity so I was coaching a little girl at one of the tournaments a couple weeks ago, and I was just kind of warming up with her, and I was like, I had like this aha moment. I'm like, oh my God, is this what jiu-jitsu feels like for people? You like train with people smaller than you. Like, she was 11, but like, okay. It felt so nice just kind of like moving with her.
Who doesn't use jiu-jitsu on children.
Yeah.
This was in a jiu-jitsu
exactly.
sport.
Okay. You're like, I just cranked that arm bar in that 11-year-old.
Yeah. No, and all I was doing was just like moving around with her and warming her up, and it was like, wow, like jiu-jitsu must be so nice for people. Like,
when you're the bigger person.
Yeah. I was like, wow, I don't ever get to experience that. It was great.
Well, I think, because I am on the high end of the size range for women, for sure. So like it's definitely different training with like smaller women. And that was for like when I trained with you, I was like, at first I went, oh, I haven't done this before. And she's okay, well, now I understand. I'm like, I'm going to hold, and I'm going to try not to use all of my weight. I find myself very clumsy. I've gotten better over the years, but like, I think there was a couple times like on a smaller woman, like I just like tripped and fell and like just crushed, and I'm I am so sorry. Or like the crossface didn't go as intended, and I just punched, and it has not happened in years, but I'm like, this is okay. Now I actually know what it means. Hey, use some of your technique.
I think you do.
Hold weight.
I think you do very well.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy rolling with you. I learn a lot rolling with you.
I always have fun, but it was definitely a new feeling to get over when I was like, oh, I'm the bigger person now. Weird. Because for a while you roll with people men that are bigger than you, or just there is a biological strength difference.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. I think one of the unique experiences about rolling with men that I appreciate, that I hear from them, is they're like, I really enjoy rolling with you because I need, like, you're quick and I have to use technique to keep up with you.
Yeah.
And I think that I appreciate that they value rolling with a smaller female. So I think that that's always nice.
Well, the good ones in our environment where we are.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll probably touch on that topic again of like unsafe gym environments.
Yeah.
Because that is something that continuously comes up, unfortunately. We're very lucky that we don't have to deal with a lot of that crap here. We won't take it.
No, for sure.
We are really, really blessed to have such a good group of guys and obviously women, but a good group of guys that really I look to as brothers.
Absolutely.
Like, they're like all family and like no matter how dumb they are or what comments they say.
Yes.
They are all like really looking out for all of us. And I think that's so special.
Well, it
really is.
You don't break your training partners and you don't have any training partners.
Yeah.
Just take care of each other.
But that's another aspect to look for. Like you traveling at gyms, if you go in and you don't see any sign of women, do you tend to be a little more nervous or do you look for something? Well, that's good.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't care. Is like, where's the biggest guy? The 220, 6'10". All right, I'll take him.
Now that she's been training for 6 years. But I think I would be, they say that, if you don't find women in the gym, that it might not be a welcoming environment. You should be more careful.
I can see what you're saying, but I guess in my mind, I'm like, well, the women are just busy today. That's what I think.
Well, true. After so many years of seeing like none on the mats, you get used to it, I'm sure. And
to be honest, like I've traveled and trained, like I don't even know, I probably could count the states up, but I've never traveled and trained somewhere where I felt unsafe with anyone that I've rolled with. Like I've always had
that is
good
nice.
training, good, like everywhere that I went has welcomed me and been like respectful. And I think that's huge for the jiu-jitsu community. Like that I've had that experience. I feel very lucky that I've had that for sure.
I think I would like some of our men teammates to give us questions that they would like answered that they wouldn't necessarily ask. Although I have met some very unfiltered individuals. And
well, yeah, you did, yeah.
And that's when you go, you are dumb, but that's okay.
All boys are dumb.
Drive us women crazy. That's why.
But we love them.
Yeah. But
I've
learned some very, very valuable and good lessons. Just be like, well, if it doesn't work that way, just don't do it like that then. Oh, okay. Simplicity in its finest form sometimes helps the overthinking of it, because everybody's bound to, especially when you're like so obsessed with finding your sport and your game and this whole aspect.
For sure.
Yeah, I think I'll ask for some questions if they want to remain anonymous or if they want to like anything. No judgment, because if you don't ask, you're not going to know.
Yeah.
What about like our I do like what about our like most embarrassing moment on the mat? Like have one?
I don't have one in particular.
I have one that stands out.
I have like a million.
Okay.
There's so many.
How about like
I have
pick one.
Most embarrassing moment like during a roll?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, I think everyone knows this story like so hard.
Oh,
my arm breaking, that would have been embarrassing. Me getting choked unconscious was a little embarrassing. Should I continue?
Okay.
Yeah, no, I like my stories are kind of, I think I didn't feel shame or embarrassment from the time I got choked out. It made me laugh so hard because I'm like, I did this to myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I did. I mean, my first day on the mat though, it was different school. But I was the only adult female, and nobody could make eye contact with me when it came time to clap and find a partner. And the biggest man in the room was like, all right, come here.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. And he's like, okay. So we were supposed to warm up by doing triangles. I have never done I kept kicking this man in his giant bald head. That's not it.
Oh my god.
They don't have it. And he was very, very inflexible too. So like he couldn't like help me by posturing down or anything. And I'm just trying to throw my legs up and I'm kicking him. Yeah, it was that was kind of embarrassing, but also like I have to give myself some some grace
Yeah.
because that was just day one and I had no idea what was going on. And that was fine.
That's awesome.
Like,
Triangles are so awkward with guys. Like
and, like,
already.
his
like,
shoulders are like this.
Yeah.
like I remember one time in the very beginning when I first started coming alone without my sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to be partners with one of Joey's friends, and he wore like shorts. And it was the triangle module or submission module, and we were doing triangles, and I was just like, this I don't want to do this.
Where's Dakota when I need her?
I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore.
Like, this is normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really embarrassing, but definitely awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, jujitsu is weird.
Yes. I had this was years ago. I was training with one of my training partners, Jamie, and I tapped, and she's kind of like looks at me and she's like, "Why are you tapping? I'm not doing anything." I was like, "Your foot? It's in my pants. It's in my underwear. Like everything is hanging out right now. Like it went through my pants, my like shorts underneath, and my underwear. So like the whole rear end, it's like hanging out, facing the wall. Luckily, but her face was like, "Why are you tapping?" I'm like, "Can we just reset? I need to put my clothes on.
My pants are off."
Like, yeah.
That was quite a moment.
I've gotten over adjusting like my band, like my waistbands, or like I'm over it at this point. But like sometimes it was like, don't look, tuck something back in. Where is this place? But
I think I still like subconsciously like pull my rash guard down.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
my belly's hanging out. We're gonna tuck that back in.
we do.
But
It happens.
I will angrily tap if you're pulling on my hair. I still I'm just like
hair
I'm like,
sucks.
I am not tapping to anything that you're doing except that you are kneeling on my hair.
I need that big hunk of hair, so like you cannot
Yeah.
have it.
I decide not to tap, but I just stay still. I'm like,
Okay.
I'm gonna wait until you lift up your knee or move your arm. I'm not gonna pull.
Yeah.
There'll be clumps of hair on the ground. and
Oh
that's
yeah.
all my
You're like,
hair.
yeah.
I
Pulling
think-
out.
Yes. That is definitely a drama and a trauma of women's jiu-jitsu is
Yeah.
the hair abuse.
Yeah. It's a struggle.
Yesterday at our women's class,
Yeah.
Dakota, my sister, was my uke, and I was like explaining something, and I must have had like a crossface or something,
Mhm.
and I was like asking her to catch my leg when I was going to transition a mount to show you guys
Yeah.
like what not to do, and she's not opening her legs. I'm like, what is she doing? What is she doing? I look at her face, and she's got like the grumpiest face on, and I'm like, what is she doing? And then I moved my hand. I was on her hair. And afterwards, she goes, "You were pulling my hair the whole time." I'm like, oh my gosh, I wasn't even doing anything.
Typical sister.
Typical sister. Mind you, when we were growing up, she would take clumps of my hair and yank it. So
See, jujitsu is just revenge for you.
It
You can
is.
get her back for all the things.
There
It is revenge.
I mean, we have some of your mat returns
yeah.
on video.
some not on video too.
I was just like, I didn't know sisters fight like that. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, we were brutal to each other growing up.
I just had a younger brother, poor guy.
Did you guys fight?
Until he hit his growth spurt in like fifth grade. But I was always the bigger one. So I was like, I picked on him. I'd like,
Yeah.
tackle him down and do that nasty little thing where you spit. And
Oh,
Oh,
Dakota
nice.
did that to me the other day during open mat.
Oh my god.
And she didn't suck it back up. So she just spit
Well-
on my face.
well, to be honest, there were times I'd miss that part.
You
and
older siblings.
Oh, we're not nice. my
No.
brother is a good human being because of it. though.
Yeah.
There you go.
I guess it makes us stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mess with younger siblings. They've been through I'm just like, I'm glad I'm an adult now because I don't know if I would have
Yeah.
survived some of that. Yeah.
Siblings are great.
He picked me up by the shoulders and put me into the wall when he was like in fifth grade. And that's when I went, oh, I got to switch to mental warfare. Okay.
Oh.
I was like,
That's where all that female stuff comes
Yeah.
in.
That's right, yeah.
oh,
that's hilarious.
Jeez.
Oh
But
gosh.
I think our podcast will probably continue to grow. We'll figure out
Yeah.
like some little things here and there. I definitely will do some more story sharing, get some of our women of real jiu-jitsu in here because we've got amazing women, even, the handful that are showing up to class and more coming through. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear more about like Stefania's journey from yoga to jiu-jitsu too. And
She's actually a professional dancer.
is
yeah.
that where all
Yeah.
of she's just like so graceful.
Yeah, she was telling me she's a professional dancer.
Okay.
Mhm.
That jujitsu is going to be like, she's going to be really good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
she loves it.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
You can tell like,
Mhm.
like there's just this different kind of glow. And that's when I know like jiu-jitsu is right for me, because I have taken off all of like the I have to look this way, I have to be this way, my hair has to be this way, and all this like perfection that we kind of grew up with, trying to fit into some sort of role. I feel most beautiful when I am totally disgusting, flat out on the mats after open mat, and I glow differently. Like my smile is different, and I've been told that, and I also feel different. Like I feel like beautiful and powerful, and like this is so much fun. Even if I've tapped 100 times the whole day, that's the best part of it. So I just want to encourage more, and having the representation. There is something to that. So that's why I think my mindset has changed greatly in like the last, decade about, women in the sport, women's only programs, and kind of what we can do. So I'm glad that you guys are here with me on our journey.
Oh yeah.
And then we have all of the ways to go. So
Yeah. Awesome.
yeah, but maybe wrap it up and
Any final thoughts?
yeah, that was kind of my anticipation. So
Yeah, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about our journey, here together, just kind of, trying to get the word out there and get more women involved, and, answer the questions that the men are dying to ask.
Yeah.
That they just don't say.
I'll save some of the questions I've been asked for our episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, your mama taught you to talk?
Oh no. Oh god.
Jeez.
No, they're okay. We love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is going to be great for us as women on our real movement martial arts portion, but also like women in general. So whoever's listening, hopefully we can just influence at least one person to try it out.
Try it.
Just get one in.
You can come to our mats, but don't worry. There are so many more welcoming mats out there too that have women's programs that are so we'll start to circulate that and get the word out.
For sure.
Awesome.
And even if they don't have like a women's class, just go, just get, it takes a lot of courage to step on the mat the first time, but I think most gyms are very supportive and welcoming, and just get your foot in the door, and
you'll find it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Hit the button.
Okay.
We
we
out
didn't
here.
use any sound effects.
That's okay.
Okay.
We out. Thank
Out.
you.
See ya.